Hey, how's it going? And I thought today I'd just talk a little bit to join in on this new BookTube reading event created by Andreea at Infinite Text and Bryan at Bad Taste Books. They have some really great channels that are co-hosting this event. Dinovember, all about dinosaurs, dinosaur books, novels, nonfiction, going to a museum if you can, whatever you can do that this month in November to celebrate our love of dinosaurs. Most people seem to like dinosaurs pretty well. Most kids do. And I think most of us here on BookTube are kind of big kids ourselves. I know I sure am. So some of the co-hosts include, and if I don't recall your name off the top of my head, I apologize. I will name everyone and list everyone that's involved as co-hosting in this event down below in the description. But I know Rob at SpaceArchives is involved, Jim at Mystery and Mayhem is involved, Richard at Vintage SF is involved, and I believe the only other co-host that I can think of at the top of my head is Roy from Roy Reads Anything. If I did leave you out, it wasn't intentional, so I do apologize if there's anyone I didn't mention. Anyhow, I am reading currently Dinosaur Planet by Anne McCaffrey. It's a little slow, but getting more interesting. That's fiction. I'll get back to that in a future video, but I want to talk a little bit about nonfiction today. And the only nonfiction dinosaur book I have currently to hand is kind of a kid's book, I guess, but I think it's still pretty cool. And it's done in a fairly scientific fashion, more or less. And that is let's see if I can fit it in here, The Magnificent Book of Dinosaurs and Other Prehistoric Creatures. This is written by Tom Jackson and illustrated by Rudolph Farkas. And I thought I'd just do a little flip through of this because it's pretty cool, but it's hard to show off on a regular kind of video like this. So hold on and I will move it to the table and we'll do a quick little flip through because it's kind of fun. It's a slim thing, no slip covers. It's got this kind of nice embossed cover with some, you can feel the little grooves around some of the art here. It's pretty cool. All right, I believe that's a T-Rex on the cover, not an Allosaurus. I think it's a T-Rex because T-Rex is probably easily the most popular dinosaur, but maybe not the best. Everyone's voting this month. That's another thing that's part of Dinovember is voting for your favorite dinosaur. Plesiosaurus, tied with pterodactyl. Anyway, let's take a look at this book. We got this book at Costco here in Japan, believe it or not, in Osaka. And this we got for our son. He hasn't evinced normal interest, kid interest in dinosaurs as we would have thought, but I certainly like this book, and so does my wife. Anyway, here's the cover again, The Magnificent Book of Dinosaurs and Other Prehistoric Creatures, illustrated by Rudolph Farkas and written by Tom Jackson. Okay, let's take a look inside. It's got some nice end papers in here. And again, a nice, it's not a little Triceratops, I guess, here. Okay. And Stegosaurus, and I believe that's a pterodactyl. Could be a pteranodon. Not quite sure what this is. It's from Silver Dolphin is the publisher. Don't know much about them. This was published in 2016. Very nice, very handsome book. And again, some copyright information. And I believe this is a Spinosaurus. That's what I think it is. It's a Spinosaurus. It came to me. I knew it would. Okay. So how they talk a little bit in the introduction about how they're setting the book up. They have a little fact file where that's found. It's, kind of its habitat where the fossils were found. The meaning of the name, the Latin meaning of the name, I guess, is the usual length, average length and weight in pounds and feet. Sorry, everywhere else in the world that's not from United States, no meters or kilograms, and the time period that it technically lived as far as they can tell, and its diet, right? So here's the contents list of the dinosaurs. Of course, it's not exhaustive. Looks like it's about, what do we got, about maybe 40 plus dinosaurs in here, and it's 80 pages. So how it breaks down is there's a little fact file, which has a cool little silhouette image in miniature of the creature itself, and then also down here another fact file. So we have about the T-Rex, of course. And then what's nice is they give a little, if you can see down here, they give a little, let me make sure you can see that. They show a human, average, I guess, 2 meter or 6 foot human, I suppose, in relation to, in size-wise, to the dinosaur. So obviously anyone who's watched Jurassic Park knows the general size that a T-Rex probably was. Found in North America. King of the tyrant lizards. 40 feet in length, including its tail, I guess. And its diet, other dinosaurs. I like that. Okay. I'll just go through this fairly quickly. We have Gigantosaurus right here. Interesting facts. Each of its teeth had saw-like edges which allowed it to cut through flesh easily. Gigantosaurus's head was more than 5 feet long. And again, quite big. You can see 43 feet. Weight 28,000 pounds. Again, this is all extrapolation from the scientific data. There's probably no way to say for sure, of course, 100%, but as close as they can get now. And I'm sure there's been some new discoveries in the intervening 9 years or so that this book came out that may change some of this down the road. But here we have the Allosaurus. If anyone's seen the Valley of Gwangi, Gwangi was an Allosaurus, not a T-Rex, right? And, you know, a little bit about the same size as a T-Rex, but some cool stuff about here. Again, diet, other dinosaurs. So they're starting off with the carnivores, I guess. Deinonychus, and this one, I guess they spread out on the side page here. So this fast-running dinosaur could kill its prey by slashing them with the long curved claw on each hind limb. Similar to a raptor, I guess, or velociraptor. And again, I'm just pronouncing these the best of my knowledge. I'm sure I'm going to mispronounce some of these. Either Deinonychus or Deinonychus. Okay, then we have a Utah raptor. Interesting. With, again, as we're learning more and more, that dinosaurs might have been more like birds. And they have some nice background dinosaurs in the back there, right? This one has some feathers around its front claws there. Okay. Found in North America again. Meaning of name is Utah's predator. Raptor meaning predator, right? Evidence suggests that Utah raptor may have hunted in packs to kill larger animals. So pretty similar to a velociraptor as displayed or shown in Jurassic Park. Here's the Spinosaurus. One of the classes I teach at university here in Japan, one of the textbooks talks about the guy who discovered these the Spinosaurus fossils, and then another younger paleontologist who has since found more bones. I forgot his name at the moment, but Spinosaurus was very big, average 46 feet, right? And named so called for the big spines on its back. Was more of an amphibious sort of creature, adept on land and in water. Iguanodon, one of the first dinosaur fossils found in London or in England, various places in England initially, I believe, or perhaps also some in Belgium and other areas of Europe. Again, 35 feet long, pretty big. Diet was plants, though it was a plant eater. Iguanodons feature heavily in Arthur Conan Doyle's The Lost World, as well as some other dinosaurs. Of course, a little bit more was known about iguanodons at the time of Doyle's writing. Here's the well-known Triceratops. The meaning of the name, three-horned face, 30 feet in length, 12,000 pounds, lived 67 to 65 million years ago. Diet plants. Now, here's one I'm not familiar with. Stygimoloch. Not sure how to pronounce that. Demon of the river Styx. I guess because of its strange little horned head there. What a strange looking chickeny sort of dinosaur this was. Human size or bigger than human size. 10 feet length, 170 pounds. Strange little creature. The Psittacosaurus. I'm guessing the P is silent. Psittacosaurus. Found in Asia. What an interesting looking creature. This is another one I'm not used to, with strange little spines on the back. It had small horn-like spikes around the back of its head. spent most of its time upright on its back legs and may have used its forelimbs to grasp objects. And again, a plant eater. Really nice art in this. Here we have the Stegosaurus, the well-known Stegosaurus, done on the side. I'm going to turn that on the side so you can see the art a little bit better there. Interesting. Some of these need a larger space, I guess. Ankylosaurus, good old Ankylosaurus with its little, with not so little, I guess, with its bony little plate or little stump at the end of its tail that it could smash things with, theoretically. 35 feet, pretty big. The tail club, that's what I was looking for, a club. The tail club was used to hit attackers, but it was another plant eater. Velociraptor, now a little bit differently depicted than in Jurassic Park. I'm sure a lot of science has uncovered further details, more bird-like features than was known at the time of Spielberg's film and Michael Crichton's novel. Weight 33 pounds? Really? That's what they think? Velociraptor was that size? Really? That's news to me. Okay. Well, that wouldn't have been too scary in the movie. So I guess they were going more off of that other raptor, the Utah raptor, or the Deinonychus kind of creature, I guess, would have been more accurate to the Jurassic Park and Lost World movies. Brachiosaurus, meaning arm lizard. Why an arm lizard? I have no idea. Obviously very big, 85 feet in length, weight 150,000 pounds. There's the little teeny human down here, the human scale size there. Dinosaur had just 12 large bones in its long neck. Another well-known dinosaur, Diplodocus, was the longest land animal to ever live on Earth, 110 feet long. There's a little tiny human there. Of course, it's got a very long tail. Again, in North America, they seem to have found a lot of dinosaurs in North America. Dreadnoughtus. Whoa, Dreadnoughtus. Again, huge. Okay. Dreadnoughtus is the largest dinosaur ever discovered, so I guess in complete size. Another plant eater found in South America. Then we have an oviraptor. What a colorful creature that is. Maybe more bird than dinosaur, I'm not quite sure. But meaning of the name is egg thief. And again, not very big, about half the size of a regular size human man or human male. Oviraptor had a crest on its head. This might have been used as a weapon, or it could have been another way of showing off, or maybe like a lot of birds attracting a mate. I don't know. Okay, back to the regular size, the Maiasaura. Maiasaura meaning mother lizard. They lived in large herds of more than 1,000 animals. This one is pretty big, 30 feet long or so. And plant eater again. Let me make sure I got this straight so you can see it okay. As you can see, this would be a really fun book for kids, as well as being packed with some information for a quick read for adults, such as myself. Okay. Corythosaurus. You know, as a kid, I read a lot about dinosaurs, and I knew a lot of the basic ones that they've already covered, but some of these more recent discoveries I know little about. Corythosaurus or Corythosaurus, found in North America. Helmet lizard, I guess that makes sense. Okay. The large eyes of Corythosaurus tell us that this animal could see well during the day and at night. 33 feet, 8,000 pounds. Parasaurolophus. This is fun mispronunciations with Jeff. Anyway, Parasaurolophus. I'm going to stick with that one. Okay. Near-crested lizard. Another kind of interesting looking, very birdish in its face, or horseish almost in a way. I don't know. Kind of interesting and pretty large, 30 feet or so. Evidence suggests that Parasaurolophus herds migrated higher up mountains for the summer and came down again in the winter. Plateosaurus, found in Europe. Meaning of name, broad lizard. And lived 210 million years ago. So this is a very older fossil, I guess. This was a very early type of dinosaur. It lived 150 million years before T-Rex. And that's another thing when we watch movies, about lost worlds or, center of the earth yarns or things like that, or 1 million years BC, all these dinosaurs working together at the same time, and many of them would never have been in the same time frame. Right? That's something we have to remember. Therizinosaurus, meaning scythe lizard. I guess because of its claws. It's got these huge claws here. 11,000 pounds, 33 feet. Found in Mongolia. The dinosaur is named for the giant claws on its hands, which look like curved knives or scythes in Greek. Theriza means to cut or mow. And I like the various backgrounds and landscapes that the paintings are depicted in. Quite a strange looking creature there. I'm guessing this is Coelophysis, or Coelophysis, like the coelacanth. The C is pronounced like an S. The coelacanth being that old fossil fish that was discovered, again, thought long extinct. It was discovered in the 30s off the coast of Africa. A slender hunter, Coelophysis, was one of the first dinosaurs to evolve. 205 to 195 million years ago, and it was a kind of human size, not so big, eating smaller lizards. So it ate fish and small reptiles. Microraptor. That's a beauty right there, isn't it? This small feathered dinosaur had 4 wings, 2 on its arms and 2 on its legs. Really? Leg wings. That's interesting. Insects was its diet. Weight was 2 pounds, approximately, less than a kilo, found in China. Tiny Caesar. That's Caesar as in to seize insects, I guess. That's the meaning of the name. I thought raptor was like predator. Anyway, also a very old dinosaur, 125 to 122 million years ago. As you can see, is only about half the size of a human. 2 feet. Compsognathus. Now this one you should remember from Jurassic Park. I think that introduced the Compsognathus to many people. Little lizards here. Elegant jaw. This dinosaur is about the size of a large turkey. Scientists believe that Compsognathus chased its lizard prey through the undergrowth. Insects and lizards were its prey. Avamimus, found in Asia. Bird mimic. Avamimus lived in an area that was covered by sand dunes. It used its speed to chase prey and to escape from predators. Kind of an early ostrich, it looks like. Another animal I'm less familiar with. That's why there's other creatures. Not all of these are dinosaurs. Archaeopteryx, I believe, is how you pronounce this sucker. This is an old one that many people have known about. They used to be considered the progenitors of birds, right? Many scientists think that Archaeopteryx was not a dinosaur, but that it was one of the first birds found in Europe. So Archaeopteryx, archaeo, of course, meaning ancient, I guess, rix or teryx, meaning feather, ancient feather. Wasn't too big. Looks like about a chicken size or a pheasant size. Quetzalcoatlus. Ugh. Okay, this is taxing my pronunciation skills. Like Quetzalcoatl, the Mexican deity, found in North America. Feathered serpent god. 35-foot wingspan. Weight 500 pounds. Diet small dinosaurs, lizards, and mammals. Preferably not humans. Pretty cool, huh? I always like flying dinosaurs or related to dinosaurs. This creature is named after Quetzalcoatl, a feathered god worshipped by the Aztecs who lived in what is now Mexico. It was not a dinosaur. It was an ancient flying reptile called a pterosaur. So it's a kind of pterosaur. I don't care. It's a dinosaur to me. Okay. Pterosaurs, pteranodons, pterodactyls, those buggers are dinosaurs as far as I'm concerned. Pterodactylus. I guess that's the full name for a pterodactyl. Flying reptile with wings made of large flaps of skin like those of a bat. Scientists think that it fed by swooping down to grab fish from the water. This creature was discovered in 1784 before dinosaurs were identified. It was the first flying reptile ever known. That's why it's cool. Okay. Pterodactylus may have had a fine fur-like coat with a texture similar to leather. Which one is Terry, Rob? Terry the pterodactyl. Okay. Now, Elasmosaurus. Do they have a plesiosaurus? They better have a fucking plesiosaurus. Okay. Sorry, I shouldn't be swearing in a kid's book. Anyway, we're getting to the aquatic dinosaurs, which maybe, according to Andreea, are not dinosaurs. There's no plesiosaur. What the hell? Anyway, Elasmosaurus is going to be close enough, I guess. Elasmosaurus belonged to a group of marine reptiles called plesiosaurs. Okay, there we go. It's a kind of plesiosaurus, which a lot of people used to speculate was related to ancient sea serpents, or the Loch Ness Monster was a relic of these. Anyway, love these aquatic beasts. I've always loved underwater stuff, underwater adventure, scuba diving, studying fish, etc. So I'm down for this kind of dinosaur. Found in shallow seas, especially in North America. Fin plate lizard is what it's called. I don't know where the plates are. Diet fish, squid, and shellfish. Pretty large, 45 feet. So if you did see one that was like, Nessie was one of these, which is probably not. If there was a Nessie, it was probably a large eel, or perhaps some kind of big oarfish or something. But this coming out of the water of the Loch Ness, and I've been to Loch Ness, it'd be pretty spooky. Its tail was much shorter, it had just 18 bones. Evidence suggests that Elasmosaurus attacked fish from below, lunging upward with its long neck to catch them. Ooh, look at this sucker. Kronosaurus. This marine reptile had a huge jaw, which it used to crush the shells of its prey. It is a pliosaur, which were the largest and toughest hunters of the ancient seas. Looks like a kind of proto-crocodile, really, doesn't it? Fish crocodile thing. And wow, I like this little the way they've arranged this. About ready to swallow that dude whole. Pretty spooky. Ichthyosaurus. Now, I think this is technically Andrea's favorite, although maybe, even though it's got a saurus in it, Andreea, I think you can count it as a dinosaur. Anyway, Ichthyosaurus is a pretty cool looking creature. Found in oceans worldwide. Fish lizard. 6 feet. What? It was that small? I thought it was bigger than that. Anyway, diet was fish and squid. Ichthyosaurus was not a dinosaur, but a marine reptile. Yeah, yada, yada, yada. Okay. It had huge eyes for seeing clearly in deep, dark water. It gave birth to live babies in warm, shallow water. What? It's kind of like a progenitor of a whale or a dolphin. Tylosaurus. This is getting bigger again, 45 feet. Found in the seas of North America. Meaning of name, knob lizard. He said knob. Okay. Evidence suggests that the massive hunter attacked prey by ramming into it at full speed. I don't know much about this sucker, but it looks pretty formidable. All right, Dimetrodon, or Dimetrodon? I don't know how to pronounce this. I'm sorry. Apologies to all paleontologists out there. Dimetrodon was a giant hunter that lived long before the dinosaurs. 295 to 270 million years ago. Found in North America and Europe. About 15 feet in length. 2 kinds of teeth. Long ones for killing its prey and shorter ones for chewing them up. Fish and large amphibians. Gastonia. That's an interesting name. I believe this is more of a non-dinosaur-y sort of creature. It's got kind of an interesting, almost antelope or camel sort of head there with all these armored plates. This armored dinosaur lived in dry forests and chewed on twigs and leaves. Its body and tail were covered in spikes and armor plates. Found in North America. What a bunch of weird creatures we had in North America, huh? Meaning of the name Gaston's reptile. So I guess it was discovered by a guy named Gaston. Okay. Weight 4,000 pounds, length 15 feet, diet plants. I believe we got one more. This is the last one here, folks. Sarcosuchus. Sarcosuchus, I'm guessing, which is an early primeval crocodile. And not as big as I had read. I'd heard and there's a fossil skull. I went to the crocodile farm north of Bangkok in Thailand once, which is a really interesting experience. And they had a prehistoric skull of a prehistoric dinosaur. Or they had a fossil skull of a prehistoric dinosaur. And it was about the size of a Volkswagen bus. And a man could lay down in its mouth. So it was pretty damn big. So I guess this is pretty close. But there's been rumors of real Australian crocodiles, saltwater crocodiles, up to 39 feet, but it's not been proven. They mostly tap out around 29, 30 feet perhaps, but not average for sure. Like a lot of those reptiles, the longer they live, the bigger they get. Anyway, found in Africa, South America, flesh crocodile it's called, and its diet was dinosaurs and large fish. So the bite of Sarcosuchus was probably twice as powerful of that as that of a T-Rex. Their eyes looked upward and not forward, so they could watch for prey while hiding underwater. I bet you they were pretty scary. And then the very last page, other than the, similar to the end papers, is this pretty cool world map of dinosaurs. Let's see if we can get a little closer for this sucker. Okay. And they're putting all those dinosaurs in those different spots. Some, this looks like an Elasmosaurus. Or no, that's the Tylosaurus, maybe. Down south of Australia. And some scattered all through Asia and Europe, Africa, South America, and a whole ton in America. Now, I'm sure there were other places too. It's just that maybe a lot of fossil digs have happened in America. And that's why they place them there. Anyway, pretty fun book, huh? And that brings to the end my little tour of this slim book. Ages 8 and up, although from reading on Goodreads, seems like a lot of kids from 3 on up got into this book as well as adults. So that's The Magnificent Book of Dinosaurs and Other Prehistoric Creatures, written by Tom Jackson, illustrated by Rudolph Farkas. Very nice illustrations, I have to say. And I hope you enjoyed that little look through. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you again in the next video.